Hi, this is Gil Cargill. Thank you so much for your interest in our Fractional Sales Manager program. As we like to say, why hire a new manager when you can rent an experienced one? Let's get going. Over the past 4 decades, I've worked with over 7,000 business-to-business sales forces. I've noted that the problem, without exception, in most of these companies is the fact that they don't have a scalable or repeatable process. Consequently, the more people they hire as salespeople, the more processes are operating within the organization. This makes management crazy, suppresses revenue and profits, contributes to attrition, and candidly upsets many of your customers. As you can see, I've won many awards for my unique approach to accelerating revenue by focusing on the process. There's no shortage of companies that offer sales methodology training, and virtually every company on the planet offers some level of product knowledge training. But process management is the secret sauce. When you control the quantity and quality of activities, you in direct mathematic proportion control the quantity and quality of the results of those activities. We've learned that through the lean manufacturing concepts that have been applied to the assembly line. Let's treat selling like a process and control that process. And there are two major keys that we address through our network of certified fractional sales managers. We will immediately help you increase the volume of opportunities your team contests and accelerate the velocity of those opportunities moving through your funnel. The net result is more new revenue per calendar time period. Now, our typical client is an organization very much like yours, where hiring and staffing of a sales manager at the level that most command today is very impractical. The average good sales manager is looking for $180,000 per year in salary and bonuses. The superstar sales manager is looking for even more. As a result, many entrepreneurs become lonely. They haven't learned how to manage their sales team, so as their companies have grown, they've become increasingly more isolated. They're taking random anecdotal input from salespeople and alleged sales managers. There's a lack of coaching going on, and they've tried traditional sales training. As a matter of fact, a few years ago, a study was published that said $11 billion was spent on the sales training industry, but sales effectiveness went down by 3 points during that same time period. So clearly, spending money on traditional improvement strategies is not a good idea. Now, these same companies rarely, if ever, have a playbook. And one of the first things our fractional sales managers will do is we'll create a playbook which indeed holds the team accountable for executing the task associated with finding, acquiring, and retaining revenue. This eliminates a problem that we've nicknamed the sales prevention department. And you see, the cause of all of these headaches for entrepreneurs like yourself is a result of the lack of education at the college level. Go search for the number of universities that offer four-year diplomas in sales management. Now, it's tragic and tragically ironic. There's not much more important to a new growing company than building and managing a good sales force. Yet and still, our colleges aren't producing sales managers. As a result, the entrepreneur grows his company to the point where he says, I need a sales manager, places an ad on a job board, someone shows up with a good personality and a business card saying they're a sales manager, and voila, the problem is beginning. 6 months later, the owner rather, says this isn't what I thought it would be. 12 months later, he's starting to get very angry and grumpy, and believe it or not, the average lifespan for the average new manager is just 18 months. We solve that with a concept that we call the new math of sales excellence. Let's take a look at this chart, and granted, it's 8th grade algebra, but it will make a ton of sense to you shortly. If you take the number of sales opportunities that are in your funnel, multiply that by the average dollar value of the average deal, and multiply that by the win rate, and then divide the sum by the length of the sales cycle, you will realize the number of transactions that can be done within a calendar month, quarter, or year. Once you know these issues, you can improve the velocity and volume, going back to an earlier slide, by increasing the number of opportunities that are worked, by increasing the deal value, by increasing the percent of deals that are won, and shortening the length of the sales cycle. Our fractional sales managers work to do all of those. We also will help you reduce your reliance on superstars. These are the guys and gals that produce a lot of business, but they can sometimes blackmail owners into doing things that aren't in the best interest of the company from a compensation bonus or a consideration point of view. New hires will ramp up much more rapidly when they get a playbook, and we've actually found that we eliminate some hiring surprises by showing the playbook to candidates before an offer letter is given. Many of the candidates look at the playbook and they say, "Whoa, that looks like a lot of work." And I'm sure you'd agree with me that you'd rather know before they're on your payroll that your minimum standards are, quote, a lot of work. Most of the benefit to our client companies comes from taking the people in the middle of your pack and helping them to perform like the top performers. And that's done by giving them that playbook and coaching them to follow the plays. They will learn by following these plays, these strategies, tactics, and activities, and over time they will become the superstars of the future. The best companies grow their own superstars. Your pipeline will become much more predictable because our app, which is installed on the laptops or the cell phones of all of your salespeople, will help you predict the future. It correlates the quantity and quality of activity executed by your team today as measured by KPIs, key predictive indicators, and it projects year-end results. This allows us to fix the company problems that come from managing the company operationally and that same owner trying to manage the sales team. Another problem we fix is promoting the best seller to manager. So now you have a salesperson who isn't selling and a manager who doesn't know how to manage. So literally you're shooting yourself in both feet. Most companies don't have any coaching metrics or trends, and frequently these companies confuse cheerleading with coaching. Completely different strategies and tactics. There's a lack of accountability except for the revenue that comes in, and the problem with that is you can't tell if the customers are buying better than the salespeople are selling. And most importantly, they lack a repeatable, scalable sales process. We will help you build a set of leading indicators as opposed to lagging indicators. In the sales world, lagging indicators are any number that starts with a dollar sign. I can do nothing about last week's revenue or last quarter's revenue. But if I know the mathematical correlation between today's activities and tomorrow's results, I can correct the activities before the results are a disappointment. One of the things that you'll do with your fractional sales manager is have a monthly meeting where you project the year-end position of each of your salespeople based on their current conversion and proficiency of activities into revenue. Many entrepreneurs hire people because they like them, and tragically I found that the worse they are at selling, the better they are at getting hired by small entrepreneurial companies because they've had so much practice as a result of being fired by so many small entrepreneurial companies. And this leads to overpaying for underperformance. We will make all of those problems go away. We also eliminate process problems that fall into the category of the sales prevention department. You're looking at a pie chart that's the result of studies with 400 clients. These are all business-to-business sales forces, and we found that the average salesperson spends 34% of his day doing administrative tasks. And tragically, 60% of that 34% is the result of someone not in sales making a mistake. The customer ordered blue, the plant shipped green. The salesperson has to fix that, and the available selling time is reduced. By eliminating the yellow slice of the pie, or reducing it, and turning it dark blue and light blue, you can see quickly how we can dramatically improve the productivity of your team. Now, at the same time, we're going to hold them accountable for taking that incremental time and turning it into incremental sales activity. Our mission is to implement a repeatable process, a process that will last long after our engagement is terminated. We will offer you a rental manager, if you will. Don't hire managers, rent them. Our certified fractional sales managers have years and years of experience. They come to you prepared to implement the Cargill New Math of Sales Excellence playbook and modify it for your company. These playbooks will guide your team in a step-by-step fashion to do what they need to do to get the results you want. Literally, we do everything a sales manager does except show up every day, except cost you a lot of money, and except tie your hands with personnel issues or employee issues so we don't create any headaches. We will create and document new processes. And again, these playbooks last long after we're done. The playbooks are based on KPIs and metrics. Let's hold people accountable for the quantity and quality of work they do, not just the results. It includes a training program to make sure that everyone understands how to execute their task. We start managing the forecast and building strategic plans where appropriate to grow your business and/or to grow our relationship with strategic accounts. And most importantly, we will execute solid coaching practices. The New Math of Sales Excellence is our premier training program. It is not a skills training program. We do offer refresher skills training in addition to that course, but we want everyone on your team, including non-salespeople, to understand the value of sales time and the impact on revenue associated with reduction of selling time for whatever reason. Our secret sauce is an app that we developed called the Coaching Copilot. The Copilot holds your team accountable for following the new processes. We have found that without this accountability factor, any kind of training that's done will have a half-life of about 5.3 weeks. Multiple studies have been done by the Sales Lead Management Association, Selling Power Magazine, and many others that show that traditional sales training that isn't reinforced has a very, very short shelf life. We will facilitate coaching, and our app predicts the future. When we talk, let's make sure we review how that works. The benefits to you come down to which choice you make. You can continue to do what you're doing and hope for a better outcome, and I think we both know the definition of that strategy. Or you can opt to work with us, get a better sales team, spend more of your time working on your business operations, product development, financing, etc. Let us worry about the sales team from a quantitative and a qualitative point of view. You'll have a lower cost of sales, your stress will go down while your profits will go up, and having a non-biased sales expert working at your side but not on your payroll will certainly lead to you making better decisions. In essence, that 800-pound gorilla called managing the sales team will be removed. We won't be your employees, so there will be no employment cost associated with us, and we work on a month-to-month basis. So I look forward to talking to you about whether or not we're a good fit with your organization. Feel free to call me at 310-447-4102 or email me at gil@gilcargill.com. As always, I wish you good luck and good selling.